Hello. I'm making a response video to your video with the hijab because I've had questions regarding the hijab in women in Islam. Uh, my thoughts on the hijab is that I wonder how women who are Muslim who choose to wear the hijab or any kind of covering feel about wearing it in the United States or any other basically Muslim majority country. The reason why I ask is that, in my opinion, that it's not really necessary for you to wear it. I look at the covering, whether they're the hijab or burqa, as more of a sign for culture. And if you happen to be American, for example, then most Americans don't wear anything like that. Some women wear, some females wear because they want to display their religion, and I understand that. Some women wear it because I think they want to please people in their religious community and or please their God. And another aspect of the religion is the sexual aspect, or a lot of people talk about being what's the word, not demure, but oh gosh, being not showy. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. I know what I'm trying to say. Not to be sexy, basically, not to show off your goods. And I think that's interesting. I think that's not needed, because if I'm a man and I see a beautiful woman who happens to be Muslim and she happens to have a covering on, that I'm still attracted to her. Me personally, I'm not a raper, so whether she was naked or she was covered with regular clothing, I wouldn't go out and assault her, because that's not what I do. And I know that the hijab has, people have said that it prevents people from considering harming women sexually, because it keeps them from giving off like a vibe that they're easy or whatever. I think that's not necessarily true here, where women don't have to wear the hijab, they don't have to cover their arms or whatever. And one of the things that draws my attention is when the rules were being made, what made the men who, because I know it's men that make up these rules, right, think that something, we need to have these women cover up their hair so that we men don't salivate over them. Because if the Muslim woman uncovers her hair, I don't know if it's a fetish somewhere else in the world, but I know that myself, I don't go crazy over it. There are other body parts that it's concealed, and they will, I think, have a greater reaction. As far as like, man, if I see maybe her butt, her legs, I don't know, I guess it all depends on the person, but I've never known the hair to draw any sexual desires. Maybe it's just me, but I think if I took a poll of men and I say, you know what, if a woman is dressed in total, like totally covered in the burqa or whatever, if I showed you your hair, would you find it sexually attractive? I think most people would say no. The other aspect of the hijab that I find interesting is that a lot of the girls who wear it are not even attractive. Again, I know that it's a personal it's, you know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but some of these girls, man, they could walk around basically normal in a bikini and they're not very attractive. They're just not. And I'm like, what exactly are you covering? And then the other thing that I think about is the temperature. You know, sometimes they may live in somewhere that's hot, and it's kind of like, why are you doing it? I understand that the burqa and the way that they dress also had to do with where the people who came up with the religion are from, as far as covering their skin to protect them from the sun. But again, if you don't live there, I don't see the need for you to continue to do that, given that you're probably not going to be raped for exposing your hair. You may or may not be pretty, and you probably know where you fall in that scale, right? And you know, other girls who are not covered up, they don't seem to draw that type of attention that, you know, I guess you're trying to avoid. Obviously, for girls who are not Muslim and, you know, who are not necessarily worried about their image or whatever, they might choose to dress different if they're going to go to like a party or a function like that, so they get made up. And I think that that's understandable, given the context of what they're doing, right? They're going to the beach, they wear bikinis. When we go to the beach, we understand that women are going to wear bikinis. It's just, we understand these things. Us men don't necessarily go extra crazy because we understand that that's what we go there for, and so on and so forth. So I don't think that just because, I don't think that just because a woman is covered up, I think that she's a little bit more saintly or anything like that. I just see it as a person who comes from a tradition or believes in certain things. I know usually it has to do with religion, culture. But if you know that person's basically regular American, it's kind of like, what are you doing? If you're trying to please God, then I guess that's possible. But I've seen Muslim women who don't cover up as well, so it's like, what, God is not pleased with them? Apparently they think that God is sufficiently pleased with them that they don't have to cover up. So that's basically what I wanted to make the video about. I hope to get some responses about wearing hijab. I addressed you know, why are you wearing it if you don't live in a Muslim country? Obviously, I understand that if you live in a Muslim majority country, they might basically come and force you to wear it, basically, because you live over there. Depending on where you go, you know, some places are more liberal than others. But if you live in like the United States, or what they call the West, then why do you do it? I understand that some people do it to identify themselves as Muslim, and if so, it's kind of like you're advertising. And you know, it's really a hard time to be Muslim right now because of everything that's been going on. So I mean, would you really want to do that? If you took off your headscarf, would God not be pleased with you? Would He not understand that it's really hard to be Muslim right now? Obviously, you can still be Muslim without covering your head, because it's been done. It still is being done. If you don't cover your hair, it doesn't make you easy. And some of the girls are not very pretty anyway. Hair does not turn us on, or at least if you can find any men that will say, man, you know what, when I see some follicles, I really get a really hard wood or something like that, please alert me to these people, because I don't see why women think that wrapping up their hair is going to keep men from thinking of them sexually in one way or another. I mean, it has nothing to do with sexual. It's very, very silly to me, really, to cover your hair. I mean, like a lot of the women, they cover their arms as well. I mean, like, it's as if like the people from the Middle East during the time of Muhammad, sexually speaking, for preventing the sexual misconduct that I think are they're so starved for skin that you have to cover up everything, right? I understand wearing the covering to protect yourself from the sun. When I see landscape workers work, I know they basically cover up as much as possible, even though if it's hot, because for obvious reasons, because to prevent from getting their skins burned. So the other thing I wanted to mention finally before this video ends is that a lot of girls who wear hijab, they still try to beautify themselves, right? So they try to bring attention, because it's my opinion that women are beautiful naturally. We are all competing for attention a lot of times, and women want to look good, and I think that's fine. And so they still match and do girly things, pastel colors, to kind of like be outstanding, yet be wow, not demure, you know what I'm saying, be humble. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot the word. Anyway, so that's my video response. Hopefully I get some response back, and have a good day. Bye.